Hello, I hope you're doing well. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, and things are still a bit messy at home, but things are advancing nicely with the renovation. It's time for yet another review to add to this channel, and I'm particularly excited to talk about this indie darling. We can officially add yet another slam dunk on the list of indie games on the Xbox Game Pass. Honestly, good for them. Regrettably, I was a bit late to start the game, and then I took my sweet ass time with this unique experience. And this isn't so much because it was an open world game. In fact, it couldn't be further from that style of gaming. The truth is, it's quite a short narrative experience, maybe 6-7 hours in length, but where it lacks in length, it gains exponentially in depth. Before getting too far ahead of ourselves, let's start by reading this game's short synopsis. Norco is a Southern Gothic point-and-click narrative adventure that immerses the player in the sinking suburbs and verdant industrial swamps of a distorted South Louisiana. The game is developed by Geography of Robots, very cool name for a game studio, top marks for them, and is published by Raw Fury. The first thing worth mentioning about Norco is its beautiful pixel art. My god, this must be one of the most expressive and layered pixel art games I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. Just about every frame is a marvel to behold. And with that out of the way, the most remarkable part of this game is its evocative writing. This is, without a doubt, some of the best dystopian cyberpunk world building I've ever seen in any video game. I'm not exaggerating. Norco is a masterclass for those interested in dystopian worlds. It's a world that inhabits a variety of heavy themes such as environmental decay, corporative greed, extreme poverty, cult indoctrination, complicated family relationships, drugs, alcohol abuse, major health hazards, cancer, death. The game tackles a lot. All these themes are expressed through richly detailed environments as well as a wide array of memorable and charismatic characters that perfectly complement the world. From one moment to another, you may experience a deep melancholy and then have that contrast with some well-integrated humor. It's a tough balance to get right, and Norco rides that line perfectly. You wouldn't think to find comedy in this desolate, depressing world, but there are some insane optional dialogues for those who go off the golden path and dig to find some narrative hidden treasures. Truly, this is some of the best writing since Disco Elysium. To help with the dense cast of characters, the mind map is a brilliant and unique solution to transform a problem into an elegant gameplay feature. I love how the game visualizes all the intersecting characters and environments and recaps the information and narrative conclusions discovered thus far. Honestly, this is one of the richest soundtracks of the year. Outstanding work. I also want to praise the fact that I never got stuck in Norco's progression. You never have blatant quest markers explain to you what your objectives are, yet throughout the entire experience I had a consistent forward momentum. There are a few minor exceptions, but for the most part the game has a strength for giving the player enough narrative clues on how to progress without being too obvious. If I had to highlight a few weaker aspects of the game, there are some gameplay surprises with the point and click mechanics every now and then, with some exotic gameplay sequences. I dare say that for the most part, I enjoy them quite a bit, even if they are rather paper thin. Most notably, I think, the combat sequences are bizarrely executed. You potentially, depending on your narrative choices, go through half the game without any expectation of there being any combat gameplay. And once it finally arrives, it comes off as a complete left turn. Normally, I would appreciate such exotic ideas. However, it's a wild contrast to the slow, thought-provoking, and deeply emotional experience, and replaces that with a frenzied and chaotic turn-based combat. It strikes me as incredibly confusing and out of character for the game. Now, is that the end of the world? Because I'm making it sound like it's a terrible design decision. No, honestly, actually I had quite a decent amount of fun once I wrapped my head around it. But it was quite jarring in an otherwise sublime and immersive experience. Honestly, it's hard to complain about the game overall, but I feel that this is one area where Norco ever so slightly falters. I wonder if anyone will be blown away or remember any of these exotic gameplay sequences. Rather, it's the world and the narrative ideas that will impregnate your souls. But by all means, comment in the video if you disagree and you find that some of these exotic gameplay sequences were outstanding and really remarkable. You know, once again, this is just my opinion. And as far as sound design goes, it works well for the most part. Though I do feel that there's one particular sound the game makes whenever you scroll over a piece of dialogue option in the text UI is quite strong. Honestly, it took me way to realize that this is a sound that the game makes. I can't tell you how many times I removed my headphones in the studio and surprised, wondering like, oh my god, did something fall in the studio? But no, it was just the game itself. It's too powerful of an effect for a repeated and rather mundane action you take, especially in an otherwise quiet and somber atmosphere. Though once again, is this the end of the world? No, but it was just like a little detail that would kind of bothered me. Finally, voice acting would have been a nice addition, seeing how rich the characters are in this game. But it's understandable for an indie game because that would have been a lot of extra work and required a significant budget to pull it off well. Thankfully, the gibberish mumbles of the characters managed to be charismatic even with this lo-fi execution. though it does remind me of that goofy Banjo-Kazooie like mumbles from back in the day. As you can tell, I'm head over heels in love with Norco. This has been a great year for point-and-click adventures, and it may very well be the crowning jewel of 2022 for that genre. I was immediately entranced by the world of Norco. It's an incredibly philosophical, experimental, and I dare say poetic narrative experience, and it's an experience that won't be leaving my mind anytime soon. This clearly falls in the 9 out of 10 category. Honestly, my highest recommendations to anyone remotely interested in trying out Norco. And especially if you have the Game Pass, well, it's a no-brainer to at least give it a taste. And that is all for today. Super busy, but thrilled with every second I have in life. I have so much to look forward to. And as always, wishing well, lots of love and health in your life, and take care and until next time.